Here in the heart of Coolidge, surrounded by agricultural fields, you'll find an amazing example of Native American history and ingenuity.
We are a cultural site. We have taken this very old site and we're trying to preserve the culture that existed here.
The Casa Grande National Monument allows you to stand right in the middle of history.
The key feature would be the Great House.
Built in the early 1300s, the four-story Great House, or Casa Grande, is a structural marvel.
The folks that lived here built this over 800 years ago and literally just dug up the soil, found the right type of soil so that they can mix water with it and turn it into a cement. And they built it by hand, layering this mud, and built it up 4 stories tall. And then some smaller ruins all the way around it, and these were structures that were anything from storage to living space, where they lived all around the Great House.
It was established as the nation's very first prehistoric and cultural reserve in 1892 by President Benjamin Harrison, and was declared a national monument in 1906.
The community doesn't build a 4-story building just because they wanted to. There was an importance to them. And that importance conveys itself right up to today.
The ruins have been written about by explorers since the 17th century.
They were engineers, they were self-educated, and they had figured things out just like they did in any very old ancient European culture.
The Casa Grande ruins shows us a native society that thrived in the Sonoran Desert, growing corn, beans, and squash.
They were hunting, they were gathering, they were already starting agriculture in these little family groups, growing what they could along riverbanks.
Archaeologists have even found shells from the seacoast, pointing to expansive trade there.
Groups started to gather together and they engineered canals off of the river. Now they could control the water through these canals, start irrigating, and become a larger agricultural area. You have people that are working with the engineers to move the water. You have other people that are now just specializing in growing the crops, and you're starting to produce sometimes in things beyond your needs for the community, which allow you to trade some of those.
Today, it is a sacred site that connects not just one tribe, but 6.
One of them that we refer to as the 4 southern tribes, but they are in total the Otham people, closest of which are the Gila River Indian community here. But they are one people. They just divided by space, not so much by culture, but by space. And so they got the 4 southern tribes, those Otham people, and then the Zuni and the Hopi that all claim affiliation to this site.
And the Park Service works very closely with their tribal ancestors.
It's their story. So we always want to make sure that we're working with them to tell their story, and to tell their story only when it's something that should be shared.
Your experience here starts as soon as you enter the gates.
There's a picnic area with a pollinator garden and some views out over some of the cultural sites. You can see a ball court and some of the sites that are below ground. To come into the site, you have to go through our visitor center, which actually brings you into a bookstore with a lot of written information and even some small gifts for people to take home with them. After you pass the bookstore, you'll walk through an L-shaped museum that gives you some artifacts from the site and a lot of panels telling you about the history.
And it's a history lesson that is free of charge. The Casa Grande Ruins is one of several national parks that don't charge an entry fee. And they tell us the best time to visit is November through Easter.
And this is the season when people want to come spend time outside and see places like this. And so come here, it's free.
We are at Mediterra Bakehouse in Coolidge, Arizona.
What makes this small-town bakehouse unique? They actually grow their bread.
I can't think of any other bakery that actually grows their own grain and mills it and uses it in their recipes. That makes us pretty special.
Mediterra partnered with a local farmer and planted 50 acres of heritage grains.
And we mill it here in-house as well, so that we're able to use those grains straight from the farm, milled here, and then used in the bread.
That means Mediterra bread is made from 100% Arizona-grown grain.
The system we've set up has allowed us to create bread using Arizona grain and to make it an Arizona product.
Kathy Chacon and Hunter Higgins run this small batch bakery.
We make artisan breads, all types of artisan breads. We use an ancient grain, and our starter is mainly a sourdough.
Ancient or heritage grains create a healthier bread because they're older strains of wheat that have been passed down from generation to generation without being manipulated.
So the ancient grains and the sourdoughs are used because they're non-GMO, and the sour breaks down the gluten, which helps with gluten insensitivities.
Hunter says milling their own grains gives them more control.
It allows us to use all the nutrients from the grain instead of like buying a store-bought flour where you might have only the starches instead of the proteins and the fats and the vitamins.
Mediterra uses European baking techniques. Nothing is automated. The dough is kneaded and shaped by hand.
The bench is where we shape all of our breads.
They are then placed onto linens or cornmeal to proof and get ready for two types of ovens: steam ovens for their artisan breads and rack ovens for buns and loaves. You've probably spotted their breads at Whole Foods and AJ's or at a farmer's market.
You can find us as far as Sierra Vista, all the way into Flagstaff. And you can buy it here. And a lot of people will drive miles and miles and miles just to come here.
And the drive is worth it. Imagine walking into the smell of fresh baked bread that Hunter says takes hours and hours to make just one loaf.
We'll mix the starters today that we're going to use in production tomorrow. And then once you mix that dough, it sits for another 4 hours before you shape it, and then another 2 to 4 hours before you bake it in the oven. So that total process lasts almost 24 hours before you get another loaf of bread. So all that care that goes into it creates a really nice flavor profile and nutrient-dense bread.
It's a labor of love.